The U.S. may have cleaned up in the medal count at the Winter Olympics, but when it comes to retirement security, we're not even near the podium. John Heiler, how are we ranked number 19?
Yeah, when you look at it on its face, it doesn't look too good for the United States. But then when you dive down a little bit deeper, you realize that not one size fits all. And you look down that list and you realize the difference between the U.S. or the U.K., because the U.K. was 18, we were 19, is that there's a lot of burden put on the individual investor. Where a lot of the countries that are ahead of us, the burden is put squarely on the government. And I think when I look at that, I'll say, hey, you got the government, you got the corporate, and you got the individual in the U.S. We're over in Europe, where primarily most of those countries are, that we're at the top. It is basically all government that supports that.
Well, Switzerland's number 1 and Norway is number 2. Are they just smaller than us? Does that what helps them as well?
Well, yeah, I think when that big debate was about national health care and people would say, well, why can't we have the Norway model? Why can't we have the Canadian model? We're 300 million people with a lot of different needs and a lot of different backgrounds. And so I do think that does play a little bit of a part of it. I do think, though, it's a different welfare social system in Europe that does support that. I mean, look at Iceland. Iceland's ahead of the U.S. What are they, number 11 on that list? And we know the economic restructuring that Iceland has to go through, yet at the same time, they've got a strong retirement plan. I guess the question is going to be, how long can they continue to sustain that? And how long does the U.S. Begin to move up the list as individuals begin to understand they need to take care of their own retirement?
Do U.S. financial companies need to start focusing on retirement security as opposed to picking the hot stock? Do you think this will help the problem?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, by 2050, the average American is going to be living to 89 years old. I mean, think about that statistic right there. People are going to need to figure out income. And I get asked the question, boy, is the market at a top today? Ask me the same question, are the Red Sox going to win the World Series? I don't know. What I do know is that they're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days, you're going to have some wins, you're going to have some losses. And you have to be focusing in on this longer term horizon, especially when it comes down to retirement. And I don't think investors still completely understand that. They worry too much about the Dow or the S&P. What they need to do is understand what their own personal benchmark is, what their own individual needs are, and begin to build a portfolio that allows them to reach those needs and goals and do it in a way the way they can manage risk and volatility. And until corporations help them do that, or until financial advisors help them do that, they're going to have a tough time reaching their retirement goals.
Sounds like a good plan to help us get the gold medal in retirement. Thank you, John Heiler.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.
And for The Street, I'm Greg Greenberg.